I wanted to get into wool production because I love animals. I grew up around cattle and I wanted something an animal that was small that I could handle, and I like to knit. And so I knew that if I chose a breed of wool sheep, then I could use a product that they would produce. So I bought a book about sheep. It had a lot of information about different breeds. The Shetland breed is a small breed. They're considered a primitive breed, so there hasn't been a lot of crossbreeding or anything with them. So I have 14 sheep right now. 4 are little lambs that were just born. I've had up to 24. I have about 3 acres right here that I keep them on, and I think about 20 to 25 sheep would be sustainable on the acreage that I have. Here I want to have about 20 total. So an adult sheep, usually a Shetland, you usually get about 4 to 5 pounds of wool from. Then of course a lamb is a lot less, about 2 to 3 pounds. And you can expect to lose about 50% of that weight in the washing alone. And then after that, you're going to lose even more with the processing. So every spring we shear them, and then once the wool comes off, you sort it into piles. So you take the kind that you want to use for spinning or that you know will be good enough to use for yarn, and you put it in one pile. I usually have a pile of britch wool, which is the wool that's kind of back on their hips. That's usually better for like yarn for rug making, and I've had a couple of rugs made from my sheep's wool. And then once you skirt it, you can either send it to a mill and have them process it into yarn, or if you did it by hand, you wash it and then let it dry, and then you can either card or comb it, and then that gets you to the point where you can actually spin with that. And then you have to make at least 2 bobbins full, and then you ply those together. Last year I had one sheep that I got about 5 skeins from, 5 300-yard skeins of yarn, 2-ply. Because they're a small breed, it would take about 1 to make a sweater. There's a lot of yarn that you will buy like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or Walmart. A lot of that is not 100% wool. It has a lot of acrylic in it, which is plastic. And so I feel like mine is better because it's 100% natural. So I haven't sold much yarn locally, but I do have an Etsy shop, and I've sold more yarn on there because there are more people in other places looking for small farms and people in cities. But I sell mostly things that I've made with the yarn. So I've sold hats, gloves, scarves, socks. That's what people usually want, because a lot of people don't know how to knit, but they're interested in supporting me and having something that was locally made, and so they would rather spend the money on buying something that was made from the yarn.